In this video, we're flying to the tropical paradise of Puerto Rico to experience some of the world's best street food.
This is like a meat mecca. It's the things dreams are made of.
But first, let's back up. Puerto Rico is just 2.5 hours from Miami, nestled in the sparkling waters of the Caribbean. Even though Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens, they have a completely unique culinary identity all their own, one that you won't find on the mainland.
Take a look at that. We're gonna be eating good tonight.
Today, my good friend Oro and I are on a mission to hunt down the most mouth-watering Puerto Rican classics.
You know what's crazy? This is a personal dish.
And deep-fried delights made with skill and precision.
Whoa, I've never had anything like this.
This is like a tostón in steroids, man.
All the way to a magical meat paradise, perched atop a mountain, smoking hundreds of pounds of sausage each day.
You seem very familiar with this action.
I used to have a lot of practice, not anymore.
But first, a hearty breakfast in San Juan, the bustling capital of this island. Some call it a pork tomahawk, others a saddleback chop. Many know it as chuleta cancan.
Chuleta cancan. It's a big pork chop. It has all the fat on top. We slice it, so when you deep fry it, it all pops up. It looks like cancan skirt.
Typically, this meat is soaked in a flavorful mixture of salt, pepper, garlic powder, paprika, and oregano for several hours before it's boiled. Then it's plunged into the sizzling depths of the deep fryer, transforming into crispy golden brown perfection. If you were hoping for something lighter for breakfast, you came to the wrong place. Here at La Vergüenza, Edgar handles his meat the way most locals like it.
So Sonny's gonna have the cancan pork chop along with some fried green plantains. Plantains are very popular in the Caribbean. We fry them, then we smash them, and we fry them again, double fried, so it makes it a lot better.
The creation continues with a comforting serving of Puerto Rican rice and beans.
Mampostear rice, what it means is leftover rice. You don't want to throw that away, so you dice some peppers, some onions, some garlic. You mix it with the white rice, the beans, stir it all the way up, season it a little bit more, and you get this kind of rice, which is kind of loosey and gooey. It's perfect.
Once everything is ready, the rice takes center stage along with some greens. Then the pork chop makes its grand entrance, adorning the plate like a crisp golden brown crown. Finally, some slices of plantain to finish it off.
Wow.
What a way to start.
We're not shy with the meat here.
No, we're gonna work our way up to the meat, but this right here is the plantain, the beloved ingredient in Puerto Rico. Let's try it out. Oh, you did already.
Yeah, sorry.
It's crispy, it's starchy, but it doesn't have a ton of flavor.
These dishes are very rich, so by being starchy, it helps to balance the rest of the meat.
Right here we have beans and rice.
Actually, it looks a little bit like a paella.
Right,
And
yep.
I think that's where the root is coming from.
This is like straight up comfort food. Very well seasoned. There's some fresh herbs in there, savory, salty, delicious. You get a little bean action every once in a while.
I like the use of onion. Give it some sweet but also spicy flavor to it.
Oh, that's really good. That's really addictive. Alas, we have our meat. I'm not even sure where to begin. Now, there are two main components to the pork chop here. One, the whole thing has been fried, and here on the outside, you've got some crispy skin or chicharron. Then the other component inside would be that succulent meat.
You know what's crazy? This is a personal dish.
Yeah. I've got some skin, I've got some meat. Cheers. Whoa. Fuego. That skin, super crispy, delicious. It's a little crackling crispiness. Right after that, subdermally, a layer of adipose tissue, also known as fat. And then finally, protein, a more dense bite that pairs well with the other elements. It's good.
Well, I would translate your bourdain to a more mundane way to say it, which is like 3 layers. One is more chewy, I would say. One is more juicy, and one is more crunchy.
And all of it together,
Very yummy.
Yummy, yummy. So this is really one of the iconic dishes of Puerto Rico. Now, Oro, you lived in Cuba your whole life until your 20s. So for you, living not far from Puerto Rico, what do you know about this place?
We call Puerto Rico and Cuba two wings from the same bird. Even our flags are exactly the same, but with different colors. Cuban wing right now being a little more wounded, but still, we are two wings from the same bird. Cuba and Puerto Rico, we have so many similarities, but also we share a mental synergy on what we like, how our cultures like. That's why we always felt like we are like brothers. Probably in this trip you will find familiar flavors with what we got in Cuba.
Oro, this trip is basically going to be a vacation. You're not going to have to do anything you don't want to do.
I seriously have no idea why Sonny made me do this.
On our last trip, we were exploring our limits in Peru.
I came here, I thought it was a food review show, not a cleaning poop show.
Now we're diving into a new adventure here in Puerto Rico. And once again, Oro has no idea what he's in for.
Why are you backing up? Go, get up there.
Well, I don't really trust you, but let's see.
Well, maybe you shouldn't. But I can tell you this, today, we're gonna be trying a lot of food. We're gonna get a crash course on what it is to eat Puerto Rican style. Sorry, Puerto Rican style. You ready?
I'm born ready.
Let's move.
Let's do it.
At our next street food stop, just on the edge of the city, we find ourselves in Loíza, a beach community pulsating with dynamic expressions of African roots. And at Kiosco El Barracuda, against all odds, they're combining beef with fruit to make a top-tier street food.
Oh my God.
Man, you really can't stop eating it.
But first, a fried filling stuffed fritter. Our cook, Zaraida, whips up a dough canvas made from a soulful blend of green banana, taro, annatto oil, garlic, and a clandestine mix of local spices. Now, onto the filling. A fresh hunk of seasoned crab meat. At last, the raw fritter is dunked into the sizzling depths until it hits a golden brown crescendo.
Estamos en el pueblo de Loíza, es frito y es hecho a leña, la cual la comida puertorriqueña, muchos no es a comida a leña, que esto es lo más típico, la leña. O sea, la tradición de generación en generación.
Served with pique, a Puerto Rican-style hot sauce, and it's time to dig in.
Oh, muchas gracias. This is like a little salsa?
It's a little bit of hot sauce.
Wow, that one's pretty intense.
I was too confident with it.
Joining our midday meal, our local fixer of this Puerto Rican series, Kenneth Vidal.
What do you like about this place?
The crab is fresh. They pick it up early in the mornings. They go to the mangroves right behind here, and they just prepare all the crab, the meat, and then just start stuffing it.
So that's crab meat on the inside?
Holy crab.
Cheers.
Full of flavor.
Tons of juicy crab. It is super heavy. It's like insanely fried. I love it.
Can you feel more the banana flavor on it?
A little bit, yeah. It's like the last echoing screams of a fruit. Beyond that, I'm really digging this. You know, I rocked up here and I'm like, oh, okay, everything's just fried. But there's some complexity to this. It takes some skill to put something like this together. It's very inventive. When you mix it with the hot sauce, it's really outstanding. It's got a lot of pop.
Really hot, man.
So the woman in the kitchen, she was saying this is Loiseña food.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Loíza is a town here. They hold strong to their African tradition.
In colonial times, when sugarcane ruled this region, Africans first populated this land as slave laborers. These days, those with African roots make up 7% of the island's population, contributing their unique culinary craftsmanship, music, and recipes.
This is, in a way, part of the USA, but I didn't know if it would seem like American food, if it would have a completely different culinary identity. How would you describe Puerto Rican food?
Puerto Rican food, it's Caribbean food. You know, we're aunties. We have a mixture of cultures. We have a little bit of our Spaniard influence, and then you have our back roots from our African roots, and also our indigenous culture, those Tainos. So it's a little bit mixture of all those tribes coming together. That's why you have our rice, you have your beans, and then you have like these fritters, especially like here in Loíza. Right? That's more like African culture.
Speaking of food, what is this?
Pionono.
To me, it's more of a bia, yes, yes.
It is, yes, yes, yes.
Back in Spain, pionono was a sweet treat, a pastry with spongy cake layers and a creamy filling. Over here, pionono has taken a slide toward the savory. Slices of fried plantains are wrapped around a flavorful, seasoned ground beef mixture. Top it with a coat of flour and egg batter known as masa, then hit the hot oil for a crispy sizzle. Seal the deal with another batter layer, flip, and fry.
Oh my God. Whoa, I've never had anything like this.
Me neither. I remember you love ground beef, so this must be a feast for you.
Wow, it's sweet, it's savory, it's meaty, and just absolutely dripping with grease. It's a great combination of textures too, because the outside is so crispy. That plantain, it tastes like it's almost caramelized, but then inside you have that soft minced beef.
This is like a tostón in steroids, man. So good.
It's like a Puerto Rican sloppy Joe.
Yeah.
My fingers are glistening from oil. This can't be everyday food, is it?
No, this is drinking food. Normally, you come here, this is a surfer community as well. They go grab their waves. They've been all day outside. They come over here, maybe grab a brew. Have one of these and you're good.
You're good for life. Kenneth, how long have you lived in Puerto Rico?
I've been in Puerto Rico for 30 years.
I want to talk a little bit more about Puerto Rico and actually what Puerto Rico is, because I think it's confusing to a lot of people. Is Puerto Rico, a country. It's been described as a unincorporated territory. What?
Well, this is a nice way to say that we're not a colony. Puerto Rico is an island in the Caribbean that was colonized by Spain and colonized by the United States. We're self-governed, but we have the watchful eye over because the government gets loans from the United States, so they always there to make sure that we're good and stuff like that.
That you're in debt?
Seriously in debt.
Even though it's part of the USA, Puerto Rico has its own flavor and identity beyond its beaches.
It's very important to feel independent anywhere you are, anywhere you come from. So we just keep it proud and we show everybody what we got.
The mix of Spanish, Taino, Caribbean, and African influences has created a distinct culture. But still, Puerto Rico grapples with a complex mix of challenges and connections to the mainland.
One, we don't have our own independence. Marketing-wise, we can't make business with other countries. Everything has to be through the United States, and there's a Jones Act for export and import, which makes everything more expensive. 95% of our food is imported.
Wow.
Being dependent on food imports has its own risks. This reliance could mean food shortages, and it could hurt some local businesses. But some places, like Puerto del Mar, offer locally sourced food like this.
El restaurante está abierto hace más de mínimo como 30 años. Nací aquí, me crié aquí. Siempre hemos vendido pincho.
These are known as pinchos, the Spanish word for spikes, representing one of the island's most renowned meat skewers.
Los pinchos son una comida rápida, una selección rápida para la gente cuando está en la playa, come, se va, una comida accesible, no tiene que esperar.
The journey begins by skewering succulent chicken thighs, marinated with a vibrant mix of fresh garlic, white vinegar, adobo criollo, achiote, and sazon.
El pollo viene de Puerto Rico.
Then comes the smoking hot show as the meat hits the charcoal. The sizzle and pop create an audible symphony, teasing your senses with the irresistible aroma of their homemade barbecue sauce brushed on top.
Dime, ayúdame ahí, la comida puertorriqueña con sabor, no es sosa, sabrosa, buena, y vas a encontrar muchas cosas diferentes para comer en Puerto Rico.
When the meat firms up to perfection, it's served with toasted garlic bread and even more barbecue sauce goodness.
Gentlemen,
Señor.
pinchos.
Eso, eh.
Is it boneless?
Yes, it is.
Very impressed.
I noticed that there is an abundance of sauce.
This is hot sauce. They say it's strong enough that it kills lice.
Oh shit. As long as it doesn't kill us.
Cheers. Bro. Masters behind that grill. I didn't even taste it yet. The feeling of how my teeth ripped through it, I knew it was gonna be good.
You can really feel the grill with the first bite.
Smoky, the charcoal is on there nice. And it's smart they're using the thigh. It's got that nice fatty dark meat. And so each bite is just full of moisture. I got some of the bread. It's so full of barbecue sauce. I got my thigh in there. That was not a mistake.
Man, as I bite, I feel my heart rate going on.
Right here, that spicy sauce. Oh, I'm just gonna go for it. Let's see if this is a mistake.
I don't trust you, man. Your pitch went really high, so I don't know. Oh, man.
Yeah, it has a great flavor. It's a little bit sour, a little vinegar in there, and then just a ton of red chili. And by the way, it's gonna keep growing.
Shit, why you didn't tell
Yeah,
me?
it's still not stopping for me.
It's very sriracha.
Where's sriracha?
Sriracha is like sriracha like.
Some say cavemen invented smoked meats. Well, if so, then Puerto Ricans definitely perfected the process. An hour outside the big city, heading inland and uphill will get you here. El Rancho de Don Nando, a smokehouse that's mastered this craft for over 40 years. Here, the echoes of ancient traditions blend with modern expertise. It's also some damn fine drinking food. Meet the owner's son, Hector Lopez.
Everything here is my dad's idea, Don Nando, that's their name. One day he just killed a pig, smoking himself, and people around here driving, they stop, and that's how it started.
This is like a meat mecca. It's the things dreams are made of. The recipes used here, are these traditional recipes?
Basically, it's Puerto Rican cuisine, yeah. Here in Puerto Rico, we love pork. This is a pork sausage. Also here, you got smoked meat, it's pork too.
Why do you think pork is so loved here?
I don't know, but it's so good. I don't have an answer for that. It just tastes so good, that's why.
Oh God, I love his
We
passion.
love pork, I love pork, that's the main thing.
Porco Rico.
Pork.
Am I right?
The sausage making process kicks off with the pork, grinding it up with the perfect ratio of fat and protein.
I use like black pork or wild pork.
White pork.
They have white pork supremacy.
No, it's not like that.
Following that, the flavor bomb. Introduce a mixture of homemade seasoning,
What are the exact ingredients in the seasoning?
This is a secret recipe. I cannot tell you about that.
Okay.
Now the critical step of stuffing the sausage.
You are going to make the sauce.
Yeah, I got a hairnet here for you. Oro, welcome to the sausage room.
My favorite place to be.
So here's what's wonderful about this place. No fake artificial casings right here. That intestine came from a puerco.
By the instruction, she said you put just the tip and then just pull all the way out. And then keep pulling.
You seem very familiar with this action.
I used to have a lot of practice, not anymore.
It's been a long time, baby. How do the intestines feel?
They feel very sausagey, like very fragile and tender and I don't know. It's not something that I describe every day.
Now, time to squeeze it out. Oh yeah, crank it out.
Like this?
Wow, look at this thing. Is he doing good?
Yes.
She said you're doing it right. No. Oh my
Oh.
Okay. Well. So close.
Este próximo paso es acomodar la tripa, la carne, como sea, más o menos 1 libra. That is a 1 pound.
Well, I got 2 for 1.
If he worked here, how much do you think he can make a day?
Por hora son 10.
Yeah, she said if it's for hours and I do a lot of hours a day, she can pay me 10
Sure. That's
per day.
per day.
Onto the smoking wire it goes. This is where the sausage is suspended above blazing hot coals with ukar wood, infusing the meat with an extra layer of flavor. To achieve the desired level of smokiness, the sausage hangs for several hours before taking a plunge in hot oil and crisping up on the outside. As always, serve with rice and beans and plantains. Joining our meal, Maria de Azua, a local talent born and thriving in San Juan.
Huge contribution by my man Oro here. He was in the kitchen. He had his hands all over these sausages.
Well, when you say it like that,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
his hands were clean. It's been fried for 8 minutes. I think we're good. I think we should work our way up to the sausage. But first, how about this?
The smoked pork undergoes the same treatment as the sausage, seasoned before smoking, then deep fried to excellence in hot oil.
That's really good.
it's a little bit smoky, right?
Yeah, it's smoky, it's greasy, it's fried, so it's kind of a little hard on the outside, but yeah, soft and juicy on the inside. This is like the ultimate drinking food.
That's correct.
Oh Lord, I'm a big fan of this.
It's bad that I love the fat part.
You're supposed to love the fat. Fat is flavor.
Alright.
Maria, have you been here before?
No.
Your first time here?
Yeah.
It's not a big island, so I'm amazed because this seems like the premier spot for meat.
I actually haven't been here. This is the center of the island. If you're coming from the mountains, it's a spot for you to come by.
What are the biggest differences in lifestyle between folks on the coast and people here in the mountains?
I say people in the mountains are a lot friendlier than the coast. I feel like people in the mountains are a lot more welcoming and feels like more homey for me.
I feel people in the mountains are more family oriented. I feel like us in the coast, people are more career oriented.
Right here, our next food, the food we've been building up to, the pork sausage.
Man, this looks so much better than when I was making it.
Yeah, I don't think this is the one that you made. I think that maybe got discarded, maybe donated to Goodwill.
Man, you could have just...
Let's try it out. This looks incredible. It's been smoked and fried just like the other meat. Oh man, that's really nice.
It also has a little bit of kind of like pepperoni flavor.
Oh yeah,
Right?
It's like a little Puerto Rican pepperoni.
I think that that's one of our specialties in Puerto Rican cuisine, like very cooked meats.
It is cooked a lot. It's smoked for hours. You could eat it at that point, and they're like, there's not enough oil here. We must fry it as well.
Of course, you could taste the whole cooking process, you know what I mean? You could taste it.
When it comes to the pigs, how much of the pork you think is being imported and how much actually is coming here from the island?
I would say still we'll have a good 75% of being imported.
It's a tremendous amount. So where's the pork coming from if it's imported?
Mainly the US.
Yeah, it's interesting that coming from the US to here to eat a pork that came with you in the plane.
There's this fascinating relationship between the USA and Puerto Rico, and one that I'm still trying to understand. Do you think living conditions in general are better here or in the USA?
In the States, of course, we can acquire a much higher quality of life immediately. It's a lot easier to make everything happen.
There's more Puerto Ricans living in the States than Puerto Ricans on the island, actually. And a lot of more Puerto Ricans are still look up north, like as that's hope. That's where we can progress. That's where you can grow.
So why are the people who stay here choosing to stay here, including both of you?
As an artist, I just like the chaos of being home. And also I have a child. He was born in the States, so he's American. I wanted to raise him here, so might as well give him something that he can remember and properly understand, you know?
What about for you?
Pride. Everything we do it very proudly. We're very proud of our works, and we want to help the island progress. That keeps us here to keep on showing the younger generations that you can make it here. It's possible. You should always go out and travel. Go up north, I tell everyone, take advantage, see the world, but the goal is always to come back home.
If you love Indian food, then you're gonna love our new channel, Best Ever Food India. Subscribe now for weekly videos showcasing the most unique street food from around the country.
It's a little bit sour, a little vinegar in there, and then just a ton of red chilies. It is making me glow and sweat at the same time. Mostly I look like a greasy hog. The woman was impressed. She said she would pay Oro at least $10 a day for making.
And I just realized that $10 is the cost of one of them. It's called cancan, chuletas cancan.
Does that mean something?
I don't know. Cancan is like the dance, like. Hey.
It's crispy, it's starchy, but it doesn't have a ton of flavor.
Actually, it doesn't if you don't combine it. It's like ratatouille. You know, you put all the flavors, combine it in your mouth.
Ratatouille?
Yeah. Like the rat in Ratatouille, he makes the stuff in the mouth.
Oro, do you think you have African roots?
I may have some. Actually, I do. I think I have a little bit of Asian, a little bit of African, and a little bit of European as well. It's a whole full mix. It looks a little bit like the worms that we ate before.
Which worms?
The coconut worm.
Oh, coconut worm.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
Este próximo paso es
She said I need to accommodate it.
Accommodate.
Yeah.
How do you accommodate a sausage?
para que sea
Making it
uniforme.
feel in a safe space. I don't know. Are you well accommodated? Do you feel good?
Translation, 10 out of 10. Boom! Guys, that is the end of video number 1 here in Puerto Rico. I hope you enjoyed it. Man, I had a great time. Wow, so much different street food and food that you can get in a building too. You don't have to be on the street necessarily. Also, I want to say a huge thank you to Oro for joining me. He flew all the way here from Miami, an arduous 2.5-hour flight. Guys, you can follow Oro on Instagram right here. You can follow his fun adventures in technology and other cool things.
And you can learn my hair care routine.
Otherwise, guys, that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Oh man, too much Puerto Rico today.
A lot of Puerto Rico.
I need to hit the treadmill
Oh shit.
for about 12 hours. Oy, oy, oy. Or let's have some cervezas.
Some Malta. I will teach you about Malta.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Wait, does that have alcohol?
No.
Not interested.